Hello, 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 hello. All right, welcome back to another stream. And I'm going to tell y'all that let's let those notifications go on out. And yeah. Okay, get the comments going. I'm going to share with you all how this has come about because we want to keep bringing you all live streams on YouTube. Well, YouTube and Facebook, right? Okay, because we go live as often as God willing, with the Let's Just Chat show on YouTube only. And I wanted to bring, I wanted to do something, for our Facebook side of things. And so this is what we're doing. Okay, instead of me saying this is just a regular live stream, why do we want to call it that, right? No. So I was like, Heavenly Father, we got to call this something. And he said, well, the Consulting for Heightened Awareness show, the CHA show. So, yes, hello. I am Michelle Dickey, your host for the CHA show. Streaming on the YouTube channel. I am Michelle Dickey. Narcissism and Cognitive Dissonance, and Facebook at Consulting for Heightened Awareness and Michelle Dickey. And I do know that commenting on my personal profile during these live streams, it's not, I don't know, it's whatever. If you want to chat, you know what I'm saying? It's always best to follow on the business page, Consulting for Heightened Awareness. Okay, yes, because he decided that, hey, Chris, welcome back. Welcome back. Hey, everybody. I know what I'm going to say. Okay, if you duck out, you'll catch the replay. All right, I'm going to say, yeah, I know what time it is, your time. Yeah, but welcome back for a few minutes. We're going to talk a little bit about, how the narcissists, okay, they will spy on their target. And, before and after discard. And we're going to go over the reasons why. Yeah, good to be here now anyways. That's awesome. Yeah, it's great to have you here. All right, y'all, seriously. It's what it's all about, raising that awareness, right? And so many survivors have that question. It's like, okay, we come to realize that the narcissists, they study us. Okay, so when you say spy, okay, before discard or before even trying to love bomb, okay, remember, they study their targets however long they feel they need to figure out how close they can mirror their targets, right? Okay, well, we do know something else too, that as they start to age, as they get older, the aging narcissist, they won't study their target long enough because they're impatient, right? Remember, the enemy's time is always short, right? So they know that once they start getting older and stuff, that they're running out of time to find any kind of supply. Okay? That's right. They know it. And so what ends up happening is that's how they slip up, y'all. The aging narcissist gets sloppy. Okay? They sure do. They get sloppy as all get out. But they do study. They still study their target. Just like that last Jezebel case study studied me for about 7 months. She told on herself, y'all. In many ways, just like narcissists do. So we understand better. They do that. They have to do that to see if they can mirror. They want to try and figure out how they can mirror their target as close as possible. Remember, they want to try and trick us into thinking that we found a soulmate, right? Okay, well, we now know there's no such thing as a soulmate like that. That's all high schoolish. Yeah, that's all high schoolish, childish. Okay? No, God has people picked out for one another. Yes. Right? Those who are meant to come together. And it will always happen on God's time. See, that's why a lot of us screwed up. Anyway, because, well, we didn't know until we knew. But the point is that we learned that, you know what? It has to stay in God's hands. Once we put it in God's hands, we have to leave it there. Okay? Point. And so they study us for a time because, again, they need to see how closely they can mirror us. They want to find out our likes, our dislikes, and all of that good stuff. Okay, and so they do. Now, when they're younger, they will study us as long as it takes. But again, as they start to age, not so much. But here's the bottom line: they cannot mirror spirituality, because our spirituality is unique and individual to each and every one of us. But the narcissist will study or spy on their target before they even approach. Okay? That's right. Before they even make that first approach at love bombing. Because they want to, they have to get to know your like, dislike, like I just said. They have to know, oh gosh, as much as they possibly can about you. And see, this is why in that last toxic workplace, it was so funny, because I was only on Quora for a time, right? That's that Q&A site, that we refer to as the nerdy kid, in the back of the room with a book. Okay, that's where a lot of survivors end up, is on Quora. And so that's where this ministry and work started, and we just been branching out from that ever since. And so it's not like they would know about those toxic coworkers in that last toxic workplace. Not like they would know about Quora, right away, because I didn't have Facebook, I didn't have Instagram, I was not even on social media except for Quora for a time. God hides us for a season or so for a reason, okay? And so they were, running around like chickens with their heads cut off for like a whole month and a half. And so I was able to identify each and every narcissist. This is part of what they were doing to try and study me, because they were trying to figure out how they could mirror me. They couldn't figure it out because I had nothing out there for them to figure out. But the day they found my Quora, I busted out laughing, because they did a complete 180 with their behaviors. They were like, and I'm like, oh, so there is some level of awareness for these narcissists that's what they probably don't identify as a narcissist, but they recognize their own behaviors. Absolutely, 100%, y'all, especially when they're older and they know how they're behaving. And so when they come across my Quora, and what are we doing? And across tons of other social sites, right? Yeah, we're exposing the wicked behaviors, right? The childish behaviors. So, yes, interesting take on narc attacks, saying that narcs are, okay, that's a challenging word to pronounce, but they go on attack. They want to, and because, they do want to be attacked in return. It's all part of their game. Yes, we learned this later on, that they do know how they're behaving, because they know they're putting on a show. Okay, you still haven't seen the Quora. Okay, well, you easily can check that out. The Quora links and things like that. On the website, on the My Social page, you'll find the Quora links to all the spaces and to my profile, because I'm slowly but surely getting back to being active on that site as well. And so these narcissists, they do have, because when we expose their behaviors, or they come across a piece of content and we've exposed some of their behaviors, they get offended really easily. And so what happened at that toxic workplace was that, they they were trying to figure out, they needed to find out how they could try and mirror me. Well, they learned real quick they weren't going to be able to, because they had already been exposed. I knew what I was dealing with. I already spotted the Jezebel. Remember, on my second day there, as I was heading to the restroom, I spotted a flying monkey mumbling incoherently to himself. So there you go. I said, okay, there's a narc master somewhere. Didn't take me long to identify the circle. So that's that. And, they need to study us. Okay, that's the pre-discard. Okay, they need to study us. They want to get us down pat, try to figure out how they can try and get in our good graces. Oh, but they did try to love bomb. Absolutely. They still tried to love bomb. Right? Absolutely. And we learn to keep them in the love bombing phase. That's what we do. That's part of how we deal with workers and narcissists in any environment. Keep them in that love bombing stage, because, and how we do that is that we're not getting trauma bonded to them, because we can see what they're trying to do. Yeah, it doesn't work. We don't allow it to increase our dopamine anymore, because we realize that we've got the control and the power on the inside of us from God to control that. Yes, we do. It's been there all along. Okay, it's been there all along. And the enemy is always lurking nearby to see if we will use that power that's on the inside, right? Okay. So they do that. Okay, that's the big reason why. Because they're trying to figure us out, right? Yeah. So they're going to study us, not just from trying to mirror us, but they'll try to figure us out. You know, like what would be the best way? You know, they want to see if we are aware. That's a big one right there. They want to see if we are aware. They want to see if we're awake. In other words, yeah, you got it. And it's their demon spirit that can see. Remember, the human host has no idea that they are demonically possessed. They know they engage in bad behaviors. They don't know the why, because of that demonic possession. And that they've been perfectly programmed by the system of narcissism on the world stage to become toddlers in adult bodies. Because what is the world stage? Full of entertainment, right? Oh, yeah. Got to keep those toddlers in adult bodies entertained, right? Keep them fed, housed, clothed, and entertained, and they won't ask no question. That's the motto of the Matrix right there. So, yes, we learn. There you go. That's it right there. Love bomb. Love bomb is an insincere flattery. That's right. And great point right here. That's another reason why they study their targets right there. Yep. Before discard, before even approaching, right? They want to learn what buttons they can push to get a ride, right? To get us to step out of character. Exactly. That's a big one right there. And I like how you call it the bread and circus show, because that's exactly what it is on the world stage out there. Yeah, keeping the toddlers in adult bodies. Yeah, sleeping, right? Spiritually dead. Keeping them away from Jesus so that they stay dependent on man. Dependent on that matrix, right? Okay, so we start to understand better that is a big part of why, okay, they will study. Right, another good point. Yep, they'll study us, try to learn what button they, right, what are our triggers. That's what they're trying to figure out. Also, those buttons, the triggers, what would trigger us to step out of character? Because what happens each time we step out of character is that we fall from grace. See, the enemy knows this. This is why we learn to stop reacting when they poke and prod or try to. Yeah, we learn. We got that power and authority on the inside of us, y'all. All right. Yep, just saw the clock. Yep, it is time to take a profit break. So stay tuned to learn more about, that's right, how narcissists spy on their target before and after discard when we come back.
Are you interested in learning how this ministry and work at Consulting for Heightened Awareness, CHA, came into fruition? The best way to learn how CHA came about is in my book, Real Events of Narcissistic Abuse, Someone's Survival Guide, available in PDF, audio, and paperback at CDHRWDRMD.org. You can also find my book across multiple ebook platforms and at Amazon. The audiobook is only available on my website at CDHRWDRMD.org. You will not only learn about red flags of narcissism, you will also take a walk with me on my journey into God's reality, where we begin to develop the spiritual discernment we need to fight this spiritual battle for the mind. CHA is a growing community of spiritual warriors for Christ, sending love and light always.
Welcome back. Welcome back. Yes. I gave y'all, some of y'all knew that was coming, because I gave y'all a little preview of how the CHA show is going to operate, because we're utilizing things that we are learning. Yes. Yep. Putting them into action to create that traction to keep pulling down them strongholds. That's right. Okay. So we are discussing. That's right. I am Michelle Dickey, your host for the CHA show, streaming on the YouTube channel Narcissism and Cognitive Dissonance, and Facebook at Consulting for Heightened Awareness and Michelle Dickey. And we are discussing how narcissists spy on their targets before and after discard. And so in that first segment, we covered a lot of the why they do it before. Yeah, so they can identify triggers, right? That's exactly. And then, oh, that's a good point, fellow warrior. Absolutely. If you wrestle with a pig, you both get dirty, but the pig likes it. Excellent analogy. Whoa, that's right. These narcissists out here, they are obsessed with external cleanliness rather than the internal. Whereas chosen one, okay, we got to get right with God. So we go through that internal cleansing. Exactly. Very good point. Spot on. And these CHA shows, so everybody knows, we are just doing 1 hour slots. Okay. We're going to keep it consistent with how we do on the other network on Saturdays. All right. And see, so we're utilizing what we learn. Yeah. I just want to give y'all that example. Okay. So now, as far as once they approach their target after they have done the studying and learning what triggers them and things like that, then they will make their approach, right? The grand finale, right? The narcissist approaches their target and start the love bombing process, that love bombing. And during that time, we're still covering it. We got the before. Okay, now we got to get the in between, right? What goes on with these narcissists in between before we get to the discard phase? All right, we're going to lead up to the discard phase in this segment right here. So just keep in mind, okay, we're covering some key points. We're recapping a lot of stuff here, because it's what they do after they've done the studying beforehand. And they think they've got us figured out. Because that's what it comes down to later on, you all. Right? Just like that Jezebel case study, thought she had me figured out enough, thinking that certain things would still trigger me when I'm fully healed. That's how stupid they are. Okay? We realize this later on. But until we learn all that, they studied us, right? For stalking or what other measures, doesn't matter. And so they think that they've got it figured out enough to get us trauma bonded to them. And they do. Because we are not aware yet, right? Remember, that's one of the reasons why they study us, right? Because they want to see if we're aware, what our level of awareness is about those types. So once they realize that we're still a bit naive, they know that they have an opening. That right there, the naivete, is a big part of what gives them the aha, I have an opening. Okay? And then also they were sniffing out to see if we were still wearing our hearts on our sleeve, right? That's that empathy. Once they sense that, they go, aha, there's another opening. So they conjure up whatever sob story, right? They come out of, Yeah, after they start dropping love bombs, start getting a little trauma bonded to them, then they come with that sob story and, playing their favorite role to play is victim. You all never forget that. The narcissist and their favorite role is to play victim. Yes, I said that again for those in the back. All right. And so we learned that, okay, but we fall for it because we don't know yet. Okay, all right, gotcha. Time stamp 19 minutes. All right, yeah. Have a great night's rest, and I know you will catch the rest of this on the replay. Thank you for joining in as long as you could. And so, yeah, they will. Okay, so they're playing victim. We're falling for it. Of course we are. Because they're tugging at our heartstring, that empathy. And so we go through the whole spiel with them, right? Because now we're trauma bonded to them. Right. And so over time, what happened? We start to dull, right? For the narcissist, our shiny starts to wear off. Remember, they were viewing us. Remember, while they studied us, right? They were looking at us as the new shiny object. Remember, narcissists view human beings as objects. That's right. Okay. And so over time, narcissists get bored easy. Of course, toddlers in adult body, of course, they're going to get bored easily. They need to be entertained 24/7. Yeah. All that crazy making. They need to be entertained at all times because they bore easily. And so when our shiny wears off, that's typically when their mask will flip. And that rhetorical, metaphorical, however you want to put it, okay? That's when their true colors start to come through, right? And we start to go, wait a minute, who is this person? Right? Yeah. Well, like, who is this? And then let's say we are off work and we're at home. They go to work. They left in a huffy puffy mood. And so now we're sitting here going, okay, what version are we getting when they get home? I have no idea. And we start, they get us to walking on eggshell. That's how it happens, folks. And now that the shining's wearing off, they're bored with us. They've got their it's not new supply. They've already got supply lined up elsewhere. We start to find out, why does it seem like he or she is cheating? What's going on here? Because we can sense that. Yeah, we can sense it. And they only confirm it through their action. And so once we realize that they're cheating, we can pretty much guess that the discard phase has begun. That's when it starts. It's because, they can no longer hold up the facade, right? They're bored because we're not shiny and new anymore, right? Yeah. And they view us as weak because of that. Never forget that, you all. They view us as weak for that reason. And so we learn, okay, all right, during the discard phase, and then, of course, arguments ensue and all of that, right? Exactly. So they get us to step out of character again, falsely accusing us of doing what they're doing. Cheating, lying. Yeah. Okay. All that starts to come out. And we're like, hold on a second. See, we don't learn until later on. There was actually confession of the narcissist when they were falsely accusing us of saying and doing things that we're like, hold on a second. We know that we didn't do or say, but because we're walking on eggshells now, right? They've got us second guessing ourselves. They got us self-doubting ourselves. And so we start telling ourselves, well, maybe we did. That's that cognitive dissonance talking. And that's what they're relying on, is for that brain fog to be so thick that we will never figure it out. That they're the ones that are doing what they're accusing us of doing. But we eventually do. Because remember, God guides our steps every step of the way to reveal these things. Absolutely, 100%. And so we learn, okay, that's the discard phase. So we got to figure out what we're going to do, right? Yeah, we got to start planning that escape. So if any of you are at that season where you're having to plan your escape, at Consulting for Heightened Awareness, the Godhead and I, we can help you with that. Okay? As far as making the plan. Help you do the research to find local resources if needed. Things like that, okay? Because you do not have to do that alone. Now, if you're still in the environment, I know it's going to be a bit challenging, but that's why our session, okay, our individual session can be done anywhere because they're virtual or by phone. So you can, if you book a session, okay, if you book a session with me and you can take it, I mean, you know what I'm saying? Take it to a quiet place, maybe on your lunch break or what have you, in your car, if you have one or what have you. You think about it, okay? You don't have to book the session in that environment and take the session, attend the session in that environment. You don't have to, because with these handy dandy little devices, right? Okay, virtual or by phone. And if you are more comfortable, if you're in your car and you would like for me to be in mine, just for that comfort factor, let me know, okay? And I can make arrangements for that. Depending on the weather, I am going to have to let y'all know that, because it gets hot here in Florida. So that's going to depend on that and what time of day. If it's early enough, then we'll be fine with the AC, okay? So just to give you all a heads up, in October of 2023, this is where we're at, right? But we end up getting into that discard phase, right? So now we got to plan that escape. We start Googling, right? Or we already have been Googling behaviors, right? That's a pretty good red flag when you have to start Googling the behaviors of someone that you love and is supposed to love you. That's a huge red flag, and we don't ignore that. So many survivors end up on Quora, where this ministry and work began. And they start learning about narcissism, the wicked behaviors. Then over time, we start to realize, oh, okay, hold on a second. And then God guides us back to the Bible to make spiritual connection. So all of that starts to happen. Now, the spiritual connection we're not going to make while we're still in that environment. It's going to be much later. Those of you who have, you know what I'm talking about. Okay? And so we know that it's over. I mean, when you're in your phase, then you pretty much know it's over. Oh, yeah. I mean, it does. It stings. Of course. I mean, it's breaking our hearts at that moment, right? Yeah. Because we realize everything. The whole relationship was nothing but a big fat lie. It was nothing but a show. And then all of those plans that they promised us, sunset beach walks. Yeah, all those things that they future fake, moving the goalpost, which also happened in narcissistic abuse on the societal level, y'all. See, we make those connections too. They keep making promises that they don't keep. And I just saw the clock. Got to take a quick profit break. Yes. All right. You all stay tuned to learn more about narcissists spying on their targets before and after the discard phase. When we come
Are
back.
you ready to get better organized in thought and action to level up your trauma healing and spiritual growth? The 5P coaching course at CHA Academy is for you. You will learn the tried and true techniques that will help you get better organized in thought and action to get things done effectively and efficiently. Once you begin putting the 5 Ps in action, you will quickly see how they often work together simultaneously. Once enrolled in the course, you receive lifetime access to the course materials and the community forum where masterclasses are available at no additional cost. You can learn more about the 5P coaching course at CHAAcademyBTBW.com and click on all courses. Thank you for enrolling. Sending love and light always.
Welcome back. Welcome back. All right. I am Michelle Dickey, your host for the CHA Show, streaming on the YouTube channel Narcissism and Cognitive Dissonance and Facebook at Consulting for Heightened Awareness and Michelle Dickey. Yes, as you will notice, there's a slight difference. I'm not announcing who I am at the end before we go to break, just when we come back. That's the only slight modification that I am utilizing, with the technique that we've learned working with the other network. Okay. All right. I appreciate y'all understanding that this is a TV show, right? So we got to treat it as such. And y'all aren't going to know what we got if I don't tell you, right? There you go. All right. So now is post-discard talk time. Why do they spy on their target post-discard? Okay, the list is long, but I'm going to try to get as many of them in as possible here. Okay. Number one, it's very similar to how we learn, okay, in our forensic training and from criminal justice training and elsewhere, how the criminals will revisit the crime scene, right? They do. Same concept as to why narcissists continue to spy on their target after the discard. Okay? Because they want to see, the criminal reliving. Okay? I know that's sick and twisted. But narcissists relive their traumas all the time. Right? They relive whatever it is that gives them that adrenaline rush. Criminals go and relive the same thing, same reason. Okay, same reason. All of it's sick. Yes, we know that. But they want to see if what they did worked to destroy us. You see, they want to check in on their handiwork. The enemy wants to see if this is a big reason why they hoover too. Think about that. Right? They hoover for many reasons as well, but this is where you start to realize that they are, and I know of several of them that when I go live, yes, I know they pop in to looky-loo and then they leave. Because all they're doing is checking to see if what they did worked. And y'all can clearly see it did not. Okay? So that's what they're doing. When they spy on their target after the discard, exactly. That's what they want. The first thing they want to know is, did their abusive manners and all of that, okay, did their wicked behaviors destroy us as they are expecting it to? So that's what they're looking for right there. That's first and foremost. Then they continue to spy post-discard because they want to make sure their target not doing what they perceive as being better than them. Remember, they've got a superiority complex, right? In their head, they're better than everybody else. In their head, they think more highly of themselves than they ought to. Remember, in Romans 12:3, we are specifically instructed not to do that. But as we come to learn later, narcissists do the opposite of what God tells us to do and not to do naturally. So when God tells us not to do something, the narcissist is going to do something. When God tells us to do something, the narcissist is not going to do that. classic with their, meaning the opposite of everything they say. We learned this as well. And so they continue to spy on their target post discard because they want to see where their target is at in the process. See, the enemy knows approximately how long it's going to take each of us. Because remember, the narcissist, right? The human host of the enemy demon spirits, right? They've been doing the same thing to anybody they can, right? Decades, centuries, right? Okay, so the enemy knows about the time frame, how long it's going to take for us to break a trauma bond, right? Overcome a trigger. So that's another reason why they will continue to spy on their target post discard, because they want to see if we have made it to a certain point in the trauma healing process. And spiritual growth, let's not forget that. Because trauma healing is spiritual healing, which requires spiritual growth. We're getting closer to God. That's another reason they spy on their target post discard, because they want to see if we are, that's right, answering our calling. They want to see if we are getting closer to God, because they know that when we get closer to God, as told in Colossians 2:19, that we will increase it with God in many ways. Nutrition, that spiritual strength, oh, that's a big one. And so they want to see also if we are more aware or less aware. They want to know where we're at, like how aware are we of them. Yeah, they want to see where we are to gauge whether or not they feel as though there might still be a window of opportunity for a second chance. And we learn, fellow warrior, we don't give them a second chance. Because there's a lot of us that learn the hard way that if you go back, the abuse is even worse than the first go round. We know this. That is out there, okay? That's not a secret. We all know that. But that's why a lot of victims do go back to the abuser, because of the trauma bond. So remember that, okay? That is the biggest reason why, is that the fear of the unknown and then the trauma bond, okay? So we never want to forget that important point. But the narcissist continues to spy on their target post-discard to see if they are improving the target, that is. Because that way they can either stroke their ego or sit there and just get mad. Listen, y'all, these narcissists, they frustrate themselves, okay? They do it to themselves. Absolutely. Man destroys man. God is not a destroyer. He repented after the flood of Noah, right? Okay. He never did that again, and he never will. He did not like doing that. So glory be to God, right? Okay. But these narcissists will always continue. Think about it this way, y'all. Those of us who, get out of it, we get out of our shell, right? We get over that rainbow to the other side. We're fully healed from the trauma. Nothing triggers us anymore. Well, the narcissist is not going to accept that. So they're going to try. Yeah, that's what that Jezebel case study did, trying to throw little jabs. And I was just like, And I could sense her irritation of not getting me rattled. See, within the first 3 to 4 months, I was able to identify it spiritually that something was off. So, case study, that's what happens to them. They become a case study. Absolutely. But God did tell me I don't have to do another one like that, because I knew darn well what really happened the night before. And so, yeah, we got out of there because we knew we were not going to give that one a second chance to try again. So we learned that the righteous are bold as a lion. But are those Jezebels peeping in from time to time? Sure. Oh, sure. Especially on Sunday when we go live with the Let's Just Chat 2 p.m. show. Because the enemy knows that that's what's going down, right? The enemy knows that that's where we normally would be. Or the Tuesday Truth Seeker podcast at 2:30 p.m. Of course, I'm just giving you all these for example. And to let y'all know that we know that sure they are. Even though their original accounts have been blocked, what do we know about narcissists, right? Oh yeah, they're not going to have just one account. They're going to have aliases so that they can spy on their targets, post discard. Think about this with social media. That's why we still block them. Yeah, absolutely. But they'll create another account and we won't know it's them, just so they can continue to spy on their target, so that they can see whether or not we are suffering like they would be expecting us to. Remember something about narcissists. They feed on pain and suffering. Absolutely. And see, I noticed when I mentioned the Jezebel case study, 2 dropped off. Pretty telling, isn't it? Thanks for the view time. But yeah, they want to see if we are in pain and suffering the way that they're hoping. They want to see if, they want to see if we're doing any better. They want to see if we are, oh gosh, the list is long, but basically they just want to see if their handiwork worked. And so they spy on us post discard. Yeah, because they're nosy. Remember, narcissists are extremely nosy. And I mean extremely nosy. They cannot stay out of other people's business. That's something we do come to know. That's right. Now, I also know that if people fall off, okay, from the live, that's fine, but we're going for an hour. I understand everybody's time is precious, but many reasons why they continue to spy on their target post discard. If y'all can think of some additional reasons that have not been mentioned why they continue to spy post discard, let's drop those in the chat or in the comment on the replay. Iron sharpens iron here at Consulting for Heightened Awareness. Absolutely. 100%. And I could tell you specifically why a couple of them would be spying on me post-disc. Well, I did the discarding. But why they would continue to spy is because they are gauging. They want to see when I'll be able to stand for long periods of time again. That's what they're waiting on. Because they want to think that what they did worked, and it didn't. I still go on my morning walks, y'all. Absolutely. Yep. And I'm only sitting during some live streams right now. That's all. Because I want to take my ankle boots off. But I'm standing, walking, and stuff like that just fine. But the Lord guided my steps. Remember, Jesus is on the job. All right. All right. There's the clock. It is time for a short profit break. So stay tuned as we wrap up how narcissists spy on their target before and after discard and more when we come back.
CHA's Patreon membership channel is another place to support this ministry and work for as little as $5 a month. When you become a member, you will unlock access to a lot of content that will further help you purge that subconscious mind of worldly garbage to make more room for God's wisdom. We have been lied to since birth about a lot of things. On CHA's Patreon membership channel, we make real-world connection to the spiritual realm and more. The link to CHA's Patreon channel is listed in the video description below and on the My Social page of CHA's website at CDHRWDRMD.org. Thank you for becoming a loyal member of CHA's Patreon channel. Sending love and light always.
Welcome back. Yes, I am Michelle Dickey, your host for the CHA show, streaming on the YouTube channel Narcissism and Cognitive Dissonance and Facebook at Consulting for Heightened Awareness and Michelle Dickey. I want to say a huge thank you to everyone who understands how shows are structured and that we must advertise, okay? Because remember, every time we learn something new, we are to put it in action. And God told me to do that. He told me to make those Facebook ads when we get up here on YouTube and Facebook instead of calling it a regular live stream, it's the CHA show, Consulting for Heightened Awareness show. So we had to give it a name. So it would be a show and the structure. So we tap into the technique that we've learned. The only thing that's different for us is that I don't say I am Michelle Dickey, your host, before going to a break. And I try to keep those 60 seconds or less, y'all. All right, that's what our goal is with throughout the CHA show, whenever we go, take a quick break. Just for no more than a minute. And then we'll be right back. Okay? But we got to do what we got to do. It's part of being a TV and radio personality. And so when we learn something, God said, use that technique. Tap into that. Nothing wrong with that. This is how we do it. Because I'm going to tell you, I know these platforms. Yeah, y'all. All right, so let's wrap it up. Shall we? That's right. Narcissists study and spy on their targets for a host of reasons, okay? And if they need to know where there's any wiggle room too, right? Yeah, they want to see if there's any kind of if there's any opening possible at all. So once they detect that there is a possible opening, well, then that's what they do. So we realize and we learn. Now, I will announce the hosting part towards the end, all right? Just to clarify it real quick. Thank you, Holy Spirit. But they want to see if there is an opening. And we do learn eventually that we do not allow them an opening. How do we do that? That's right. Telling them no, setting boundaries and enforcing them, keeping our personal life separate from whatever environment they might be in. Yep. And things like that. So we don't allow them to abuse us by internalizing their negative crap. That's how we stop tolerating the abuse, you all. If we stop internalizing their negative garbage. We return it to sender, first class. And so for anyone who is concerned about the narcissist spying on them post-discard, don't. Stay no contact. However it is you got to do it, whether it's limited or full, okay? However you got to do it. You got to maintain no contact. Because they're going to do what they're going to do. Like I shared earlier with y'all, I know there's a handful of them that peep in every now and again, and I know why. They're wanting to see, yes, because that Jezebel knows exactly what she tried to do to me. And she wants to see if, why they checking in recently is because they want to see when I'll be standing up again. That's what they're looking for. I ain't stupid. Yeah. Because that Jezebel hoping that I went and no. God. Dependent on God only. He guides our steps every step of the way. So y'all are not alone. So I'm sharing that with you to let you know that we learn to not let their behaviors cause us to lose our composure, because they're going to do what they're going to do, right? So they're going to troll our social media places, because it's not a secret. I've got the My Social page of the website, y'all. Links are in the video description below. So whenever you hear one of our short 60 seconds or less brief ads, those links are in the video description below. Access, to the academy, to the website, the Patreon channel, all of it for quick access down below. So y'all can check that stuff out. We've been building on this for a long time. We started on Quora in 2019, but we were mentoring survivors long before that. Yes. So to help y'all put it in perspective, around the 2013-14 mark, I started mentoring survivors of what we then knew was just domestic, you know what I'm saying? Just a small list, okay, of abusive behaviors. Okay, so I was mentoring at the same time, learning more lessons myself. So I stayed at mentorship level until God awakened me, and we did some more research and stuff. And he was like, all right, you ready for the next level up coaching? And then once I connected more dots, he leveled us up to the consultant we were born to be. That's right. And the minister that he called us to be. So I want you all to understand that if you've got a narcissist and you know they're spying on you, don't let it distract you. That's another reason why they do it. They want to see if they can distract you or get you rattled up over it. Do what you got to do. But yes, we keep our personal business off of social media. Unless, for like you all, I share some personal examples to help y'all put it in perspective. So you can see the strength of Christ that's in you too. It's not just in me. It's in you too. And that how we can do all things with God. Because all things are possible with God. And so we are keeping an eye on the clock. Absolutely. So for those who are new to this concept, what we're doing with the Consulting for Heightened Awareness show, the CHA show, that typically is just a regular live stream, right? But we needed to name it something so that we could utilize this structure. So for every 15 minutes, we will go to you'll go through a short, like I said, minute or less ad, faceless ad. Right, and then the last segment, okay, for the last 13, 14 minutes, we'll do some wrap up. any additional announcement, or anything else. If you've got questions, I will go to those in the chat or in the comments on the replay. But that's how this show is structured, because we have to do our own advertising as well. Y'all don't know, like I said earlier, y'all don't know what we got for you if we don't tell you, right? And I'm not in a position where I can hire others to do that for me. I'm being honest. October of 2023, that is, I am not in a position where I can hire out for others to advertise on my behalf. So the Godhead and I sit down and do it. 5P. Okay? God is the author of the 5P. All right, everybody. So never forget that, because that's what we got to do. And when we learn something new, we got to put it into action, right? There you go. Because we understand how marketing works, and we understand repetition, but we have a lot to offer you all at Consulting for Heightened Awareness, and so we want you to be aware of them. Services, our books, things like that. So there you go. All right, everybody. And I will get to the question as they come in. Okay. And if you can think of any additional reasons why that you did not hear in this video as to why the narcissist, if you will, why they continue to spy on their target. Post discard. That's the most interesting part right there. Because I'm sure there's a lot more reasons I did not get to. Okay. You know, and again, right, the biggest one, they're nosy. We know that. Okay. And we also know that there's more. All right, everyone. I am Michelle Dickey, your host for the CHA Show, streaming on the YouTube channel Narcissism and Cognitive Dissonance, and Facebook at Consulting for Heightened Awareness and Michelle Dickey. There you go. That's right. We're sending love and light to all fellow warriors. Thank you for watching, listening, and for your support. Until next time, let's show some gratitude to the Heavenly Father, and you keep being you. In Jesus' name, amen.